Hi everyone, and welcome to TWF Dynamite. I am Jim Ross, here with Trini Kwan and with Wade Barrett. And today on Dynamite, we're going to see Sami Zayn meet Shark Boy. And we know Sami Zayn has had a hang up with Shark Boy. He guilts everyone. He guilts everyone for for shaming him, for not onlooking him. He also believes in his mind that everyone is out to get him. You know, Jim Ross says. And he's not answerable for anything he says or does. Because at the end of the day, he believes that everyone else's mistake. And any mishaps that happen to him, well, they're done because everyone's out to get him. Well, Trini Kwan said, Sami Zayn's been like that for some time, sadly, Trini Kwan said. He wasn't always like that. In the beginning, yeah, he was irksome, ran his mouth off about some shit that he didn't, but he didn't become this bad. All that happened when he won the WWE Interlandal winnings. Then, since COVID happened and he was stuck over in a settled land, could not be back. So they had to take the winnings off of him. When he could come back, that's when he started bitching about everybody who was out to get him. Then he won the WWE Interland winnings again. Trini Kwan said everything was good until he lost it. And then after that, it was whatever. That's when it all became everyone's out to get him, everyone hates him, and this and that. Well, I'll tell you one other little thing Wade Barrett said. Sami Zayn, he's a iffin man. He is a former WWE NXT heavyweight winner. He's a two-time WWE Interlandal winner. He is also, don't forget, but he is also a former TWF Pennsylvania Reich winner, which we all know he probably wants to win back again one day. Wade Barrett said, and I unlock him. First off, I'm going to tell you right now, Sami Zayn says, I am done with Shark Boy. I am done with that chunk of shit. I'm done with that motherfucker. And I'm going to work until I become the TWF Pennsylvania Reich winner once again. That will happen sooner or later. So, Biggie Langston, I hope you're watching, because I'm going to be coming after you again. So the way I look at it is that I'm owed something. I go for all this shit. Everyone hates me. No one gives me onlook. Everyone is my foe. And why don't you just shut up? I'm not going to go any farther. Edward Collins says, yeah, I need a stand just to stand in the ring. That's sad. Alright? So, here's what's going to happen. In life, Sami Zayn, there are things called ups and downs. Life is not flawless. Alright? You choose to take no answerable for anything that's ever happened to you. You guilt it on everyone else, Edward Collins says. Every mistake you have made, you say every mistake you have made, it's not your mistake, it's someone else's mistake. Every mishap who has happened to you, you say someone made that happen to you. But I'm going to tell you, Edward Collins said, that's enough of that shit. And no one wants to hear you run your mouth anymore. Oh, so the bloodsucker with a soul is going to tell me that I should be answerable. You're one of them, You should know. But then again, why should there be any unlike? Isn't a bloodsuckers like you are against me? A bloodsucker with a soul. Well, you weren't as good as, let's say, Angel or Spike or Lustant or Nick Knight or Nick St. Jones or Celine, right? You weren't good as what? Sandy Blake. Am I leaving out any? Oh, Count Nightwing, Prince Koloff, right? Vlad Dracula, right? Yeah. You weren't as, you weren't as good as those bloodsuckers of a soul, right? Everyone is out to get me, and that means you too. You know. Yeah, I'm here to shut you up. Is what I'm here to do. Yeah. You're going to shut me up, Edward Collins. Oh, yeah. Edward Collins says he's going to shut me up. Ain't that bad. Truly sad. Edward Collins thinks he's going to shut me up. Well, come on and seek, because I don't think you can. And I will show the whole world that everyone in the TWF is out to get me. Well, here's the way I look at it, Steve Austin says. Edward Collins told you to shut the hell up, but you wouldn't shut the hell up. You see, son, you think everyone's out to get you. You guilt everyone for mistakes and mishaps that happen to you, and you don't take any answer, but you're not answerable for any of your mistakes, and as a mishaps, you think we all did it to you. You know, a lot of shit's happened to everyone, but it's how you deal with it. And I never guilted my mistakes on others or my mishaps on others. So, unless you want me to open a can of booty beat on you, you shut the hell up now. Yeah, right, Steve Austin. You're the one who you should know. I told you to shut the hell up. Now let's get a fight lord in the ring so Edward Collins can have his fight. Or his match. Well, you can tell Edward Collins, that stand wasn't made. But Edward Collins is going to take the win any way he can get it. Oh, this is done. Well, Trini Kwan said, Edward Collins will take the win any way he can get it, Trini Kwan said. Yeah, that's the kind of man he is. He'll strike someone when they're down, Wade Barrett said. Oh, don't start that, Jim Ross said. Do not start that. Edward Collins body slams Sami Zayn. He comes from the top rope and, down. It's over here. 1, 2, 3. Ding, ding, ding. Here is your winner, Edward Collins. So Edward Collins has beat Sami Zayn here on Dynamite, Jim Ross says. In the fight for the head, would say the head foreman of the TWF, Steve Austin, came out and started a fight and made Sami Zayn shut the hell up. But he wouldn't shut up, Jim Ross says. So you know how shameful that went. Well, Trini Kwan said, need be Sami Zayn will learn, to take to be answerable for his mistakes and stop guilting others for his mistakes and also his mishaps that happened to him. Oh yeah, Steve Austin, he's one of those folks. He only stunned Sami Zayn because he's one of those ones who's against Sami Zayn, Wade Barrett said. You ever hear yourself talk, Trini Kwan says? You know how crazy that comes out as? Sami Zayn needs to be answerable for his mistakes, and as the mishaps go, he can't guilt his mistakes or mishaps and others, Trini Kwan said. That's right, Jim Ross says. You got that right. And once Sami Zayn learns that, he might be a greater man for it. But sadly, he isn't learning from that. Oh! So Steve Austin, the head foreman of the TWF, gives me a stunner. Yeah. And then that's how Edward Collins beats me. Well, that just goes to show there are folks out to get me. You think you're so bold, Steve Austin, but at the end of the day, you're not bold. So I guess, Sami Zayn, you're still running your mouth off, saying that I'm one of those ones who's against you. Well, I told you before, son, either you stop guilting others for your mistakes and stop guilting others for your mishaps, or I'm going to stun you again. Yeah, right, Steve Austin. You can't do shit to me and... Oh! I just did, and that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so. That's the bottom stake, because Stone Cold said so. Well, I understand now that Sami Zayn has been shut up for good, or at least until tomorrow. Jim Ross said, yeah, until tomorrow, I guess Trini Kwan said. He'll be bitching tomorrow. We know that, Wade Barrett said. And he has good grounds to be bitching. And now we know Gene Okerlund now is going to be talking with Edward Collins. All right, Edward Collins. Things, all right. Edward Collins, a bloodsucker of a soul. You've only had a handful of fights here in the TWF. You now work on Monday Night Raw or Monday Night Raw. And you just won your fight with Sami Zayn. Well, Sami Zayn, he can say whatever he wants to say. But I think after beating Sami Zayn, that could put me up to fight for the TWF Pennsylvania Reich winnings. Now, Sami Zayn can say, oh, I'm against him. Oh, it's not his mistakes. You know, it's my mistakes. Oh, it's not his mishaps, it's my mishaps. First off, mishaps are things that happen beyond your running lead. But mistakes are things that you know what you're doing, and then you do it. But you know the right way of doing it. And you're answerable for your mistakes. Something Sami Zayn doesn't believe in. He believes that everyone is out to get him. That everyone has it in for him. He doesn't know why, but that's what he believes. And at the end of the day, Sami Zayn, I don't think anyone would want that crazy man as the Pennsylvania Reich winner. So you're saying, Edward Collins, that you want to fight Biggie Langston for the TWF Pennsylvania Reich winnings. Yep, that's what I'm saying, Gene Okerlund. I want to fight Biggie Langston for the TWF Pennsylvania Reich winnings. That's right. And if Biggie Langston wants to go sometime down the road, then I'll be ready for him. Well, that was my talk with Edward Collins. He wants to go. He wants to fight Biggie Langston for the TWF Pennsylvania Reich winnings. Back to you, Jim Ross. Well, thank you, Gene Okerlund. Well, we do understand before we go, Edward Collins was coming to leave here. Oh, Sami Zayn just beat him up. Garuva kick. Yeah, you're damn lucky I don't got a steak. You're bloody lucky I don't got a steak, or I would have staked you. Fucking vampire with a soul. Bloodsucker with a soul, huh? Hey, they are against me. Open your fucking eyes. You're one of them. Oh, by the way, you're not real. Oh, I don't know what the hell Bella ever saw in you. Well, it looks like that Sami Zayn is back to being a creep that he always was. But that wasn't true, Jim Ross said. In the early days, Sami Zayn was not a creep. When he was on NXT, and when he went from NXT to Raw, and went from Raw to SmackDown, he wasn't a creep. And then something happened, and then he became a creep, and then he went around calling himself the Great Freer. But at the end of the day, he's not the Great Freer, Jim Ross said. Just a sad man who chooses to guilt others for his mistakes, and doesn't take any, is not answerable for anything that happens. You know? And all he does is guilt others for his mistakes and is unanswerable for anything that he says or does. You know? Which is truly sad. Yeah, Trini Kwan said, you saw what happened. You saw what he did when you saw what happened when he beat up on Edward Collins. Guilted Edward Collins for something that Edward Collins had no runner lead over, Trini Kwan said. So I think this whole hang up between Edward Collins and Sami Zayn is going on. And we know that Sami Zayn likes to start things. He's not so good at ending things, Trini Kwan said. I'll tell you at the end of the day, Wade Barrett said, who really cares who did what, who said what? But Sami Zayn, he's the beaten. And at the end of the day, Sami Zayn's going to be shown right. Wade Barrett says, well, that will be your belief, Jim Ross said, but looks like it is all the time we got here for TWF Dynamite. Well, I'm Jim Ross for Trini Kwan and Wade Barrett. We hope you like Dynamite, and we'll see you tomorrow for Impact or Striker Hit.